Welcome to this sacred space. I'm Deepa Lu, and I call myself the creative mystic. And today, Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse want me to share with you about the synergy effect. That's what they told me. We're going to tune in later as we get going, once we kind of create this sacred space here in my studio, but most importantly, also in your space. And it's about that sacred space. It's not only your physical space. So maybe you're in your home, or maybe you're in an office, or even outside, wherever you are. It's about how do you create that sacred space where you are physically, and also the most important sacred space inwardly, the sacred space inside of you. Because that sacred space, creating that sacred energy, will transform you, will lift you up, will help you in every challenge you have in your life, and help you actually start to manifest what you truly desire. Because that's one of the messages from Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse, is about miracles are here, all things are possible. And the miracles they're talking about are the miracles that there's something you desire that you don't think you can have, and that desire is actually possible. So we're going to check in with them in a little bit here, but we're going to start off with, I always like to ring the bell. And I invite you, if you're seeing this, for you, if you have a bell, to ring it. If not, just listen to the bell, and we're going to say hello to Archangel Gabriel on the Flying Horse. You know, it's a tradition from India that they ring the bell to say, hello, God. And the spirit guides are one with God, are part of God. Okay? So let's get going. Hello, Archangel Gabriel. Hello, the Flying Horse. We invoke thy presence into this sacred space physically, and into our sacred space inwardly, awakening the oneness, the synergy effect with the synergy with Archangel Gabriel, the synergy with the Flying Horse. We welcome, we willingly open our hearts, because they're saying opening your hearts is one of the most important things to connecting with higher power, to connecting with your spirit guide. So that welcome the willingness to open your heart, to be one with spirit. And we invoke the presence of Archangel Gabriel into our space and say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this moment of bringing them here with us. Okay, and I'm going to light the ghee lamp. So if you have a candle, then feel free to light a candle. And I'm going to light the Palo Santo. They're actually telling me to do this first, because we're going to clean the energy. See, there's always energy we pick up on. They're telling me to share this with you. We pick up on the energy from other people. We pick up on the energy from an event that's happening. But there's energy always around us. And is it energy that's lifting us up or taking us down? So they're inviting me to bring this Palo Santo into you too. So kind of bring it towards you like that. That's what they do in India, to bring the purifying effects of the Palo Santo to let go of any lower consciousness thoughts or energy that maybe you picked up on, or maybe even you've had yourself, to allow those to be released from your body. To always bring it to the paint too, because when you're creating a spirit guide portal, it's everything you're feeling, emoting, intention wise, is being infused into that portal. And so if you're wanting to bring that sacred space into yourself on the inside, the intention that you make outwardly helps inwardly. Okay, so we're going to turn around and invite in the energies of them. infuse the vibrations, the blessings that Archangel Gabriel and the flying horse want to bless on you who see this video, who see the portal, that they come with the blessings of all things are possible. And they bring the blessings of higher guidance, your higher self, because it's all about how can you connect with your higher self that is always there with you, but sometimes covered up by your fears, your worries, your anxiety. They're saying even your logical, practical mind that tells you you should or have to. And all that covers up your higher self. So we're going to do the Mahamrityunjaya mantra and the Gayatri to infuse those energies, the healing energies, the energy of the divine into the portal. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarika Bandhanat Richo Mokshamamritat. Om Bhu Om Bhuvaha Om Swaha Om Maha Om Janaha Om Tapaha Om Satyam Om Tatsavitur Vadinyam Bhargo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yo Nat Prachodayat. Om. So they're wanting me to share, as I was doing the chant, they really want me to share with you about the synergy effect. And the reason why, like, you would think Archangel Gabriel would be by himself. People think, like, why does a angel with wings need to be on a flying horse? And they're saying we have synergy. And that when you bring two or more of whatever, like whether it's two or more people, two or more spirits, that there creates a synergy effect. And they're wanting me to share with you the importance for you to think about the synergy effect, the synergy in your life. Is the synergy that you're having, and what they're telling me is that the synergy could actually, it's about lifting you up, okay? And that's the idea with when you do it spiritually, is that synergy is really important in lifting you up. Now, the synergy that you ultimately want, they're saying, is synergy with higher power, with God, with the spirit guides, with the angels. An angel is a spirit guide. But that you're wanting that synergy, that oneness, okay, bringing together the two, what seems like two energies, but yet is really one, okay? Now, we're all one. There really is no separation, but in the land of physicality, of what's often is called delusion, we think there's all this separateness, right? And so it's about the synergy effect is when we're in this physical plane, how do we bring together other energies so that we can actually have a more exponential effect, a greater effect? Because when you bring two people together spiritually, there's what they call on the Hindu practice of, or yoga practice of satsang. It's about having spiritual souls, like-minded souls together, that you bring those together so that it helps lift you up. There's that saying, I think it's all tides, what's it called? All tides rise. Rising tides lift all boats. That's what it was. Sorry. Rising tides lift all boats. And so it's the same with that spiritually. Like if you have an energy that's lifting up, it lifts up those that are with you. And so you can do that with the spirit guides. If you're not feeling that great, you're feeling kind of blah. And if you're seeing this, you must need this blessing of how can I get out of feeling kind of blah or not feeling so great about something that just happened. Or I just really want to be more uplifted more times. I want to be more joyful. I want to be more loving more often. I know it's one of my aspirations is to be enlightened right in this lifetime and to be able to come from the open heart of love and joy and peace. I'd like it to be all the time, and at this point, it's not all the time for me, right? So it's about continuing the journey on the path of growing spiritually. And so Archangel Gabriel and the flying horse have come together because they're saying about how the synergy of their energies excuse me, that when Archangel Gabriel rides on the flying horse, it conserves his energy so that he has it for other things. It brings their energies together so that they can actually go and bless more people. And so it works that way for you. So if you get around other spiritual souls that have higher consciousness, that are more expansive, share, like, feel the energy of love and joy and peace more than people who are negative and complaining, it will lift you up. Now, here's the thing: what they say is that like when that rising tides lift all boats, lower tides drop all boats, is what they're telling me. That's not a saying, but it's, you get the concept, right? If you're around people who are negative and complaining and constantly being contractive, like they're not open to anything new and they're not open to doing anything new, they complain about the way everything is in the world or their life or their job or their spouse, and they're always complaining, right? What does that do? You know, right? It kind of drags you down. And so they want you to become aware of the tide, on whether it's lifting you up or taking you down, and that be aware of synergy, that whatever you're choosing to be around, to be in, to watch, to listen to, is having a synergy effect with you. Now, one of the things they're saying is what you really want to do is, and why they want me to create spirit guide portals and create the spirit guides and and teach people how to connect with their guides, is because they're a bridge. Like, if you can't believe in total oneness yet, because it's a process, that they're here to help you, that they are here to help give you that higher guidance to lift you up when you're not in that space. Because when you're in a human body, sometimes you wake up, maybe you didn't sleep well, something, and maybe you're having a hard time being in that expansive place. And when you can have a synergy effect with the spirit guides, then all of a sudden you get lifted up. Okay, so they're wanting you to actually start to become aware of that and start to think about the synergy effect of what kind of environments can you be in that will lift you up. And one of the things they want me to share with you is I'm going to be launching a membership. So if you want to get on my wait list for the membership, I'm hoping to launch it hopefully before the end of this year. We will see if I can get everything done to going with it. But you can go to deepalu.com/membership-waiting-list. Okay, and get onto my membership waiting list, and then I'll let you know when it launches, because it's all about creating the synergy, the community that's going to be a rising tide that lifts you up, but how we can help you with growing spiritually, developing your spiritual gifts, and also how do you actually find and fulfill your purpose, because that's so important. And all of these work, or I should say, come together and work together. The creativity of why I create the spirit guides, the community, the empowerment of how do you actually start to be empowered in your own life. All these are going to be in the community. So I'd love to see it. If you want to get on my waiting list, please do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel here, I'll be doing these lives. I do them every Thursday at 3:30, or almost every Thursday. Certain days I have to stop, but so feel free to subscribe if you want to, and also turn on your notifications if you can, because then it'll let you know that I'm doing a live. And if you like the lives, or if you like any of my content, please give me a thumbs up. All my little props I made, because I love creating. Creating puts me in divine flow. Creating will put you in divine flow. And that's what we're going to be doing here next, is we're going to start off with doing some creation. We're going to start off. Oh, hi. Oh, thank you. Is that, oh, okay. Namira. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. Namira. So thank you. Oh, you're from the Netherlands. That's the first time I've seen someone from the Netherlands here. We've had someone from India and some other places, but thank you for, announcing yourself. Give me a like and subscribe, because I'll be doing this next week too. So So again, the synergy effect is what the Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse want you to start to really pay attention to. Is it lifting you up or taking you down? And what environment are you putting yourself in? Okay, so we're going to get going on painting. Please, if you see this in the recording or you're live now, please feel free to put in any questions in there. The Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse are going to be telling me more as I'm creating them about the synergy effect. I kind of gave you a little bit here in the beginning. If you missed it, go back to the beginning when it's in the recording. But I'm going to start and get into the painting part. Now, if you're new on the channel, which I think you are, Mira, I haven't seen you before, or if you've been here, you haven't announced yourself. But this is all about creating the spirit, using your creativity to actually grow spiritually, to start to feel spirit and have them be the doer as you create. And so Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse guided me earlier that they have synergy and they want you to have synergy. And it's also, besides the blessing of all things are possible, that the miracles are here and that all things are possible, they want you to also get that how synergy helps with that. When you actually get yourself around people who are uplifting, who are like-minded, and you actually can find a community. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing the membership, is that I was guided that a membership is key to helping spiritual souls, mystics, start to awaken, to be on that path of awakening, to have that desire to be enlightened in this lifetime. Because at our soul's heart, at the truth of who we are, it is why we have desires. And people don't get that. When you have desires to have a successful business, have a home, whatever heart's desire you have, something that's growing and expanding, is all about the really true desire of desiring to be merged back into oneness, to be enlightened, to be the best that you possibly can be. So you're hardwired, whether you think you are or not, to be growing and expanding. And when you don't actually take action towards that growth, towards that expansion, what happens is people contract. Some people can get depressed. Some people get discouraged. Some people get angry. Anybody ever have any of that happen? I'm curious. I always check every so often. Just if you ever had anything like that happen to you, where you felt stunted, or maybe it's happening now for you, where you felt like, I'm just not feeling great about life. So, and if you're not, it just means, it's all it means. It's not that something's wrong with you. It means that you haven't been choosing the things that are in your heart. You haven't been choosing the expansive nature of what you're meant to be, do, and have here. And often we feel that way because we feel like we're stuck or like we can't because of the programming that we have. But it's not logical, maybe, because maybe you don't have enough money, or maybe you have plenty of money, but you still feel like you have all these responsibilities and you can't get yourself out of them, so you don't know what to do. Or you could be in something great, but then feel like, I don't know how to get myself out of something, even though I make decent money, because I have a lot of debt. Years ago, when I was in my 20s, I went to a party and I met all of these lawyers. I had some friends that were lawyers, and I went to their party they had, and I had never met so many lawyers in one place in my whole entire life because that was kind of their reality, being lawyers. And but the thing was that most of the lawyers I met were really unhappy in their jobs. Now, of course, I don't think all lawyers are unhappy in their job. It was just at this party. But the interesting thing was they felt caught. So they didn't know how to get out of it because in order to become that lawyer, they had created a lot of debt to get there. And so they just felt like they had to stay stuck. Oh, there's something I want to do in that job, even though they don't like it, because they thought, I have to pay off this debt. So, and that's the kind of thing where Archangel Gabriel, the flying horse, want you to get that no, things are possible. All things are possible. If there's a heart's desire that you know that what you're doing now is actually harming you, and I tell you, if you wake up every day not feeling good about life, that's harming you, and it's a lower tide taking you down. Because I talked about earlier about how they're talking about synergy, and so whatever you're around or doing, there's an effect that's happening. So they want you to understand that it's possible. Now, they're not telling you to run out and quit today if you have something that you're not happy with, but what they're telling you is to be open to the possibility that it can be different than it's been. And when you start to say, okay, I know there's a solution to the problem that I have, that I'm unhappy in this job, and I don't know it yet, but I know there's a solution. Or what I say sometimes is when I'm having a challenge is I'll say, they're telling me to share it with you. What I say is I'll say, yeah, that I know there's a solution, but that solution is not in my conscious awareness yet. And they're wanting you to get, yet is the operative word, because yet means it's coming, it just isn't here yet. So they're wanting you to actually start to do that. Now, they're wanting me to share about this creative process of creating a spirit guide portal, because they're asking me to ask you one of the things, if you're in this place of like you want, is what creative thing do you like doing? Because creativity opens you up, puts you in divine flow, especially if you do what we did at the beginning here of doing a prayer and having an intention of what you want to do, that intention, that prayer makes a huge difference on what happens in your life. So I'm curious of, and if you're watching this live or even in the recording later, to ask yourself, they're asking me to ask you, are you completely happy with everything in your life? Because if you're not, they want you to start to work with them on the thing that all things are possible, because they are. Also, does anybody have their own creative process they do? Share that in the comments. Love it to see. So it's been really different because I've been creating this portal just on my YouTube lives when I do this on Thursday. So sometimes it's been hard to do it just because I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta wait till the next live because the spirit guide, this Archangel Gabriel told me just create this only while you're doing the live. So usually I create it more with like I'll paint the next day right after I do it, not be waiting another week. So it's been interesting to do that because Archangel Gabriel will come into me and talk to me about different things. With myself but because I'm not coming on every single day doing the live, I have to wait until I'm going to do it again. So one of the things about if you don't oil paint, I'm going to step back for a minute because when you oil paint, you got to step back and look at the painting to make sure it looks okay because you get kind of a different perspective when you're close up. So, oh, thank you, Namira, for sharing. Yeah, I basically try to do my best to be open to what the spirit guides have to share. Each of these spirit guide portals comes through and wants to they want to be a blessing. I got this years ago. I actually see that they wanted to they started coming to me in visions and meditation, and they wanted to me to create them into portals so that they could be a blessing in the world. It's about, the idea of a portal is, if no one's ever watched it, is that the portal is about helping you to be in higher guidance. Like, how do you get yourself into higher guidance when you're not feeling that way? Helping you connect with spirit, helping you to get those intuitive downloads, helping you to solve whatever issues you're having. That when you actually get higher guidance, that it helps you overcome those stuck places that can so easily happen when we get too much in the land of practicality, in the idea of, what am I going to do when something's not working out the way we want it to? That thing that kind of makes you go, I have that happen. So when I do, I go to my spirit guide portals. I have several of them, but Archangel Gabriel's been coming a lot to me lately. So Namira, do you paint? I'm curious. So do you have some other form that maybe you do? Since you... Oh, you love to cook? Very cool. Do you do a lot of things from scratch? Because cooking is a creative process. I find it really is. It's Is that the joy factor for you? I find like painting really brings me a lot of joy. Like I can paint and just feel like, life feels like so much better when I go and I paint. I think I'm going to do it every day, but it doesn't happen because there's the practical parts of doing business. I still have to work with that programming I have that tells you you're supposed to be practical and logical, take care of things. But I'm working on really kind of making effort to paint more often. Try to paint at least 3 or 4 times a week. I love it when I get a spirit guide portal client because then I paint every day just about because they commission me to create their spirit guide for them. Well, not create. What happens is if I do create it. I create it into a portal, but we if they're wanting like to know their spirit guide that's here to help them like manifest their purpose or overcome a challenge, then we do a session and I get a vision while we're doing the meditation together. And then I paint what I see and then put the blessings, infuse the blessings of what they tell me, whoever that is who needs it. So when someone wants to get their own spirit guide portal, all of a sudden I'm getting paid for it. And then it overrides my logical mind that says I have to go do the things that, that bring in money, which is, that's the thing about Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horses. They want us to get that all things are possible. So this has been a blessing for me. And that's the great thing about when I create these spirit guide portals is it blesses me with higher consciousness too. Like I get on and I do I create them and then they help me to see like, oh yes. So since I've been creating Archangel Gabriel and the Flying Horse, they've been giving me all kinds of downloads in what I need to do to believe and know that all things are possible. You love to meditate. I'm a meditator. Meditate every morning, every evening. Love it. Ooh, that looks so much better. So yeah, big meditator myself. This makes such a difference. I used to, before I started meditating many years ago, I used to always be, I still have tension issues, but I'd be like, my shoulders would be up like this. And I started meditating and they like dropped. And I had gone to a physical therapist before because I had an injury in my shoulder. And the physical therapist was like, relax, because my shoulders were up on my ears, but I didn't even know it because I was always like that until I started meditating. And then all of a sudden I walked by a mirror and saw that, oh my goodness, my shoulders just relaxed away from my ears. And it just was like a game changer for me of like how I was in life, calmer in life, just more centered in life. And that's the thing why I got the download from my spirit guides to create a spiritual community. It's not just a spiritual community. It's about, well, it is. It's about helping people, what I call to like, I haven't decided exactly on the name. That's why I said if people want to get on the wait list to please join, because it's really about, the path of awakening, because people misunderstand the path of awakening. They think that if they just do the right thing or they would just figure things out better for themselves, that they would all of a sudden a switch is flipped and they're enlightened or they're awakened. And there are experiences that you have, but for most people, it's not like that. You don't just flip a switch. There's gradual signs that you're growing spiritually, which is awakening. You know, growing spiritually is all about awakening. It doesn't just randomly happen. It's about things that you're doing that help it. That cup again for a minute. I'm gonna figure out a place to put my glasses. It's not working there. Doing all the little fine details. It's always so fun when you start a portal, because when you start it, you put on large amounts of pain and it goes quickly. And then as you get further into it, it's a much slower process because you're doing all the little fine details. But the fine details give it life. That's what gives it life, is the fine little details. And, you know, think about it. Life is like that. You know, when people want to master something, or they want to be great at something. You know, athletes or musicians are probably the thing that people have a lot of aspiration for, to be great at. Of course, there's all kinds of things you can be great at, but it is like the little details of why someone gets great, not that they do one big thing and that's it. And it's the thing that why there's only a small percentage of people who are great at something, because the people who are, it looks like, you know, like they talk about overnight success singers or something, and people think, oh, wow, they just, you know, but usually those singers have been doing it for years. They've been doing stuff for years. They've been working at their craft to get better and better. And so it doesn't just happen overnight. It's like these little things you do to get better and better at something, to get better and better at something, and to improve what you're doing, that make a difference. So it's like that on the spiritual path. It's the little things you do that keep you going, keep you practicing. Because when you've been on the spiritual path a long time, it's not about more new things that you learn, but how do you like keep your practice fresh, keep it so that it's not just routine, but something you love doing still. You know, not being in the have-tos or the shoulds, but because, this really makes life better for me. This really lifts you up, you know, that idea, you know, because, and one of the things I've been doing lately that Archangel Gabriel's guiding me to share with you guys is I've been looking at things in the terms of, is this an investment or is it spending? And that I want everything I'm doing to be an investment. And so what I mean by that is it an investment that's going to expand my energy and make me higher consciousness, or bring me more joy, you know, but not wear me out? So let me give you an example, because it was actually something that really, when I read it, I was like, this is so true. It was in this book, was it The Power of Awareness? I can't remember for sure the name of the book because I'm going from memory, but basically says that you should, like, even with money, you should never be spending money. You think when you first read that, you think, what? What else are you going to do with it? But it's about investing money. And now investing money doesn't have to be in an investment, but what you're spending the money on should be something that is an investment in you. So if you spend money to, let's just say, go get a massage, that could be an investment in you because it's your self-care that's going to make you better and healthier, less stress. So that's an investment in you. But to and they're not, and to go, like, let's say you spend a bunch of money on going out to the bar and drinking a bunch of alcohol and getting drunk, that's not really an investment in you, is it? Because it's what? It's going to give you a hangover the next day. And there's no judgment here, because I was a partier when I was young and I used to go drink and go to bars, but it made me think about life differently when I read this recently about, I think I want things to start being an investment, like where I, spend my money, that it should be an investment in me, an investment in my energy, an investment in, whatever it is. Is it making me, is it lifting me up, or is it tearing me down? Is it draining my energy, like exhausting me, or is it actually, making me a better person, what I consider a better person? Because I don't like doing the good and bad, but, is there something like that happening? So, they wanted me to share that with you because they said part of the synergy effect is also what, of you being aware, they're saying, of what is an investment in you, an investment in what you came here to be, do, and have. And that's what they're talking about. It's like, if all things are possible, if miracles are here, and the miracle is anything that you haven't thought that you could have, that you've wanted, to start holding that it's here. And that what would be an investment into that? Like if it's an investment in you going for why you're really here on the planet, as it's expanding you into your next stage of growth, into your awakening, then that's an investment. But if you're just spending money to wear yourself out, or you're trying to do things because everybody else is doing it, but it doesn't really uplift you, then that's spending. So in the book, they said that you should never spend, you should always invest. And I can't say I'm at that place yet. But I've been looking at, the things that actually feel like an investment. So like if you're a TV watcher, this is the one thing I've really looked at is I watch TV, but is what I'm watching an investment, or is it spending? So spending could be you're watching something that actually has a lower consciousness that makes you worry or fearful about things. That would be spending if you're thinking about TV. But investing would be maybe something that makes you laugh, because the power of laughter is amazing. Like people have healed themselves with physical things by laughter. So that to me is like an investment. So they're saying to look at that, like everything in your life is an investment, or is it spending? And of course, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but they're just giving the guidance of, if you're seeing this, then maybe it's something that you want to kind of look at, because you tuned in today, and this is what they're having me share. Because they just give me the guidance of like what to share with you, so you guys, and what they're wanting to do is help you come into your higher self, your spiritual being self that's here to be this amazing, powerful being. Because to truly start to know that all things are possible, you have to step into knowing that you're this powerful being, powerful beyond measure. So they want you to start to tune into that. So part of tuning into that is looking at your own life and looking and watching and observing your own energy. So one of the things too that I wanted me to share with you is one of the things when I'm creating the spirit guide portals on my own, not here on YouTube, I actually listen to a song. I pick out a song that I feel like is the vibration of the spirit guide, and I listen to it. So because music, a sound is super powerful. It's partly why I ring the bell in the beginning. And so they're wanting you to actually pay attention to the sounds that are in your life, that it's affecting you more than you might realize is what they're saying. So to pay attention to that, like, do you need to change some of the sounds? Is the music you're listening to lifting you up or affirming something not so good? To just pay attention to those things. And none of these are have tos. They're all about you get to choose. These are just suggestions. That's the thing about the spirit guides is when they come, none of them are telling you, like, they're not reprimanding you, saying, no, you need to do this and you have to. They're like, here's an idea. Are you open to it? Are you resonating with it? Because if life isn't, like, you're not happy in every area of your life, then it means something needs to be adjusted and changed. And the spirit guides want to give higher consciousness to you to help you believe that you can change those things, that it's possible they be changed, that something different can be in your life than what you have. So they're really wanting, oh, that looks so much better. They're really wanting you to own that, like what that is. So they're saying if anybody's live and you have a question that you want to ask Archangel Gabriel, the Spirit Guide portal, they're saying feel free to put it in the chat and they're going to give an answer. I don't know what they're going to answer, but it's one of the great things about it. If you come live and you're on, is often they'll come in and tell me that. They don't do it every time, but they'll say, oh, we want to give a message today. If you've got a question about some area of your life or just a question that you want to ask Archangel Gabriel, maybe something, because they're coming with the blessing of all things are possible, feel free to put it in the chat. Now, obviously, you have to be live to do this. If you're watching this and then recording later, they're not going to come in and answer it. We're not going to answer it on the comments. You have to come and be live to get it. But if you're on now, you can ask something if you'd like. It's one of the things I do with my spirit guide portals when I mentor and coach people is they come and they give higher guidance. And I tell people it's the biggest thing that changed and transformed my coaching, my mentoring for my clients is instead of just me being the one that's answering, I let the spirit guides pick it up by the higher thread, and because they know things about what's going on with the person much more than I do, because people, they're not necessarily trying to keep secrets, but they don't tell you every little thing about their life, and then they'll pick it up and give some insight about something. So it's quite amazing to be having them guide the coaching programs. So check one last time. So I haven't seen any questions come through. Oh. So we're gonna, how can you find stability in life? Okay, your mom passed, you feel lost. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Namira. Let me ask them. I'm glad you put it through, because I was just going to say if no one has questions, then we're going to wrap it up and get going. But let me ask the question and see what they say. Well, they're saying that that you have to allow yourself to grieve. Obviously the grieving process is important. You can't just like try to bypass it, especially spiritually. You can't bypass the grieving process when you lose someone important like your mom. It's like there's this process, and it's interesting that you came on the mirror, because my mom is going through, she hasn't died yet, but she's in the process of she's been losing her memory, and she's been every other month, it's like she's dying. No, she's not. She's dying. It's like been an emotional roller coaster. So I can really feel, what you're going through. Because I know when she finally goes, even though it's been an emotional roller coaster up and down, that there's going to be a big grieving process. But I've been grieving the losing of my mom for the last few years, because her memory's been going, and she's not been able to actually have a real conversation with you. And, the parts of her that I used to connect with my mom have like disappeared. And so even though she's physically in the body alive, she's gone. So the Archangel Gabriel is saying that you can't bypass that, but to actually be with the energy of your mom. They're saying that, oh, your mom had the same. Wow. I guess that's why you were led here. They're saying that to let yourself be with the energy of your mom, even though she's physically gone. Like, when we actually all never really leave, they're saying that there's this, that, spiritually we're always here, and that your mom, the spirit of your mom is around you, even if you don't sense it or know it. And to be open to that, to like, just like take some time to like grieve, but be like, and affirm like, I know she's not in the body, but let me sit and be with the energy of my mom. And if you're feeling lost, they're even saying that you can like be with that energy of, mom, guide me. And I do not usually channel any kind of deceased people when I like do spirit guides for people. I've never had a deceased person come to me, probably because I had a belief years ago like it was something scary. But they're really telling me that you'd sit with that energy and be with her, knowing that she can still guide you. And they want me to share with you my best friend that I've known for years. Her mom died. She was actually probably only, I don't know how old you are, Namira, but she was only like about 30 when her mom died. And, like it was about a year or two after her mom had died. I think it was, I can't remember the exact time, but it was like, it's been a little bit of time, a year or so. Okay. And I'd asked her, I'd said, how are you doing, with the fact that your mom's passed? And she said, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like she's still with me. And she, she of course still cried because she misses the physical body of her mom. But I said, doesn't sound crazy at all. It's making me teary because it's like, yeah, your spirit, the spirit of your mom is still here. And that's what they want you to get, is to do that. I'd love to see if you come back next week, if you do this, if you share, or if you want to reach out and get on my wait list or something, I'd love to hear to see if it helps. Because, I know this is a difficult time. And if you went through what I've been going through, with 1 minute they're dying, 1 minute they're not, and 1 minute like you could just see them melting away. Yeah, I've been going through a slow grieving process for the last 2.5, 3 years, because I know I had to like just let myself be there. Of like times I would be sad and times I wouldn't be. And so they're wanting you to really, do that. And I'm really grateful that you came on, Namira, because always when you see other people going through some similar things, I think it helps. It's kind of like that synergy effect, is like helps you can lift each other up, in it. There's a grieving process that you have to go through, but how else can we, lift ourselves up? All right. So I got to get running because I got another appointment at 5:00, but it was so great to see all you. And Namira, I hope to see you maybe in the future live. I will be doing this next Thursday, 3:30 Eastern time. So I'd love to see you guys, anybody who's been on, and anybody else who's on. If you haven't subscribed and you want to get notified about it, please subscribe. And of course, if you're looking for maybe a community that's going to be helping you with the path of awakening, I'm going to be launching a membership, hopefully by the end of this year. Feel free to get on my membership wait list. I'd love to see you there. And founding members are going to get a discounted price as long as you stay on. So I'd love to see you there. It's all going to be about helping empower you, to teach you the spiritual laws and truths that are operating their lives 24/7, so you can actually be, do, and have what you came here to be, do, and have. It's also about healing, because it's a healing process in awakening. It's very different than most spiritual paths or spiritual communities, because I really believe you can't have a spiritual bypass. You have to step into that willingness to heal. And healing is just about letting go of what's no longer serving you. And that no longer serving might be old belief systems that are from emotional wounds. It could be some resentment that you have with someone that did something to you. Healing can come from many different levels, but it's going to have the empowerment, the healing, the creativity. And one of the other most important things about, if you're looking to awaken and to become enlightened in this lifetime, it's about how do you step into knowing what your purpose is and finding it and beginning to act on it and fulfilling it. Because we're all here for a reason on this planet, and it's a good reason. All right. Thank you so much. Blessings. Hope to see you next week. Oh, and you're welcome, Namira. I'm so glad that the message was helpful.